Welcome back to Black Dragon Beginnings, everyone. Here it is time for Chapter 3, Acts of Charity.
Oi, Bossman Mustaine, there's trouble afoot.
What is it? And why have you returned from reaving with no plunder?
Our reavers have all been slaughtered, Bossman. Them leaked-out pissins hired sellswords. But paid to all of us but me. Badkey's dead too.
Laid low by a measly pack of sellswords. Serves that arsehole right. Always had a fat head and a brain smaller than his prick. But them Lake Town lackwits ain't seen the last of us, I tell you. We'll have our plunder one way or another. Tell the rest of the boys to sharpen their weapons. We ride at sundown. We'll descend on Lake Town in full force and burn the fucking place to the ground.
Them bigheads will regret crossing us. I'll spread the word right quick, Bossman.
That friend of yours is a sharp tracker, Lightsworn. Between him and the wolf, we arrived here in record time. I spent many a year on my own in the wilderness. I'm accustomed to navigating dense forests.
From the look of it, the black bears haven't noticed us yet. If we have the element of surprise, we ought to take advantage of it.
Let us not be hasty. This fortress is filled to the brim with seasoned murderers. We'd best plot our approach carefully. You're right. We'd best arrange ourselves in an attack formation. Have you any ideas for how best to make our approach, Lightsworn?
Military tactics are hardly my area of expertise. Altair, I have an idea for how best to arrange ourselves. Listen closely.
And hey, prep screen, we are actually getting it pretty early this time around. So prep screen, we have 12 units, we can make use of all of them. I generally like to keep deploy counts high in my ROM hacks because that is a bit of a pet peeve of mine with other hacks I've played. But yeah, we've got some arranging to do of both the inventory and how we want to deploy our units. So what I'm going to do for prep screens is generally I am going to cut out all of the tedious item management and other management, unit placement, and I will just cut to the end when I've got my inventory all loaded up and my units all set. So I'm going to cut away for a sec, and I will be back here in just a moment. And we're back. Okay, this is how everybody's inventory is looking. I gave Cuchulainn and Phoebe a couple of the 2 chest keys I purchased, just to help expedite getting the treasure chests in this map. And basically, most of the rest of the inventory was just handing out the low-tier weapons, like the oak bow and iron sword and the various iron axe and the hatchet to everybody who really needed them. And this is how everybody is going to more or less be set up. Actually, I'm going to move Corinne to the center. But yeah, so this is a siege map where we have to get the throne that this guy is sitting on, Mustaine. We used to have Dave Mustaine over for our Sunday dinner in the middle of the night. Some old YouTube poop I used to watch back in the day by CS188. Anyways, Mustaine, a notorious bandit lord who lords over southern Rovania. That's a bit of an awkward sentence. Mustaine is the first instance of stat rings. This guy has a resist ring, a ring that raises resistance by 3 while in the unit's inventory. As you can see, he gives him 6 res instead of just this plain old 3. He also has Daunt, -5 hit and crit to all enemy units within a 3-tile radius. It's not necessarily going to be that impactful of a skill, but it is kind of dangerous. Yeah, these stat rings are a thing that was in Darius the Conqueror. It was something I was really fond of doing, because I just like the idea of, actually needing to take enemy equipment into account. Obviously, you can steal the ring off this guy by using one of the new units. Well, you can use Cuchulainn, but you can also use one of the new units we're going to be getting, Puck. I will go over Puck once we've recruited them. They're recruited by Altair or Zayan talking to them. And the only other thing really of note are obviously chests. These two are guarded by this archer over here, and then there's these two. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other thing of note is this cavalier who has a stealable talisman. You can do that with either Cuchulainn or with Puck once you've recruited them. But yeah, it's kind of a straightforward map. I will admit, this is a map that I'm a little... I can kind of go back and forth on how good it is, because it is a little bit on the turtley side, partly because of things revolving around Puck that let's just say I really do not like. I do not like the way this... I do not like having to deal with Thief AI, because it is really janky and weird and tends to not work. But anyways, I am rambling. I want this video to be shorter than the last one was. The last one was very long, mostly because I had a lot of explaining to do. This should hopefully be a little shorter, but, you know, it won't be if I keep talking. Oh, Puck hears the sound of footsteps outside. The others have not noticed them yet, but they are close. Smelly old bears have it coming, says Puck. Let them all die. We will slip into the shadows and steal away while they are distracted. Okay, so, starting off, we have some enemies that we need to thin out the numbers of. We also have conversations between Rast and Altair, and between Rachel and Zayan. I'm having a lot of these early talk conversations happen between characters, between the lords and other units. I don't know how long that's going to stay a thing necessarily. Anyways, Locke, let's have you start things off. You can very easily get rid of this guy. And then, the left side is a little bit tricky to deal with. Again, these enemies are, for the most part, spaced out enough so that you shouldn't be eating too many hits all at once, as long as you play things correctly. But sometimes that can be a little tricky. Rast. Let's see, 13 and 11 times 2, or 10 times 2. I want Altair to get this kill, because he's actually lagging behind in experience a little bit. So... go... Let's just use the Iron Axe. We'll give Rast a little bit more chance to grow his weapon rank anyways. Now, Tide, can you double? You cannot. That is unfortunate. We could have Altair go here, but he would be in range of this archer. Yeah, you know what? Ku, take this kill. It doesn't matter too much if Altair starts lagging behind in levels a little bit, because he'll find a way to catch up. Trust me. This Cavalier... crap. Shoot. This is actually kind of tricky. You know what I think I'll do is I think I will have Tiresias use his class skill to swap Cuchulainn out of direct attack range, and then I'll just have Altair go up here and talk to Rast.
Oi, Altair. Are you still upset about getting fooled by that Radkey bastard?
Oh, Rast. No, upset is not the word I'd use. It'd be more accurate to say disappointed. Most of all in myself for letting him pull the wool over my eyes. I wouldn't blame myself too much were I you. I may have given you some false expectations on how easy it is to get a brigand to repent. But that's precisely the trouble. Why was it so much easier to convince you to repent, and why was it not possible with Radke? Hard to say. Some folks are just rotten eggs, I suppose. But there may be more to it than that. Truth be told, I hadn't been a bandit for long when we met. I'd been poor all my life, but it was only a few moons prior when I began pillaging to earn my daily bread. And I can't speak for the other fellow, but it seemed to me he'd been part of the bears for a lot longer. And once a man fully commits to a bandit's lifestyle, he's often too far gone to come back out again. Yes, I recall you saying you felt that to surrender to us was to walk straight into a noose. A lawbreaker's lifestyle is often forfeit should be... A lawbreaker's life is often forfeit should he be caught. No crime is too heinous for a man so condemned to die. There is no low he will not stoop to survive. It seems so obvious to me in hindsight. Funny how what's muddy in the moment becomes clear as crystal in hindsight. But I wouldn't let it dampen your spirits too much. You're a good man, Altair. That you trust easy is what makes it easy for others to enjoy your company. It's a pity that this world isn't kind to those who are too trusting of others. Yes, it is a real shame. I like to think I'm not completely ignorant of how the world works. But I do try to believe the best of everyone I meet, and that simply isn't always the wisest idea. We all live and we learn. And whatever doesn't kill you outright is something you can learn from. True enough, I certainly don't plan on making the same mistake twice. But I am glad I took the chance and spared your life, Rast. This little talk has proven that I made the right choice to give you a chance at redemption. Thank you for your kind words. Ah, hell, you're gonna make me blush. Yeah, that's the one thing I like, is that, you know, Altair isn't completely naive, and, like, him getting fooled the last chapter is just a case of, like, he tried something because, you know, he had this idea that it would work because it did work for him before, and just this time it didn't. Okay. Now we have to deal with the right side. Let's see, how do I want to handle this? Rachel, you... Zayan's the one who really needs the experience for right now. So Rachel, you can begin... Well, let's check and see damage values first. 13 versus 16... I don't think the extra damage matters that much, so we'll just use the oak bow. But first, talk conversation. Yeah! Ooh, good shot, Zayan! Bah! Rachel, please never sneak up behind me like that again. I detest being startled, and I'm liable to take a swipe at you. Oh, sorry. I can't help it. Being an archer, you have to learn to move quickly and quietly. But I must say, you're not half bad a shot with that bow of yours. I spent a good 6 years of my life living off the land on my own. Archery was a necessary skill to learn to survive. Especially in the winter months, where hunting was essential to keeping myself fed. But you survived all that time, all on your lonesome. How old were you during those days? I was 2 and 10 when my home was destroyed, and 8 and 10 when I came to live with Altair at his abbey. Damn, that's impressive. And here I thought I had some skills as a hunter. Do not sell yourself short, Rachel. You stand half as tall as me, but you've the strength to draw that heavy warbow. That's no minor feat. And your arrows all seem to fly farther than mine do. Oh, you're too kind. I'm a tough lass, no doubt. Back home in Barioth, I will wrestle with the boys in me village. They were all bigger than me, but not a single one ever pinned me on me back once. Even now, Argus is the only one who can keep me pinned on me back. Though, I don't mind that quite so much. I don't understand. Oi, Rachel, don't go blabbing about what we do in the bedroom, you daft cunt. In the bedroom? God damn it. Why'd I have to feckin' say that shite out loud? calm down, Argus. I'll make it up to you back in the inn once this is over.
You better.
I have no idea what to make of these people. The little bits of comedy that we can get here and there. Most of all from me doing a terrible North English accent. Armory's probably watching this, and he's probably laughing his ass off at how bad my attempt at the fucking Scouser accent is. Like I'm pretending to be one of the Beatles, so to speak. I don't know. I like doing voices, in case you couldn't tell. I've been an actor for a long time. I will say, also, Rachel's portrait, you may have noticed that the blinking frames were weird on it. I think this mug was made by, I believe the username is Citrus, and I used a couple of Citrus's mugs for Darius the Conqueror, and they all had some issue with the blinking frames, like 201. It was actually kind of obnoxious, which sucks because, like, you know, good design. You know, I mean, I always will have a soft spot for any character who has a design that looks like Rebecca, you know, but it's just annoying that they always come with some kind of technical issues. Anyways, moving on. Victor can outright slaughter this guy. Phoebe's probably more in need of experience. Argus, I don't want you getting too in range of a bunch of people. Victor, you kill this guy. I don't think I have much of a choice in this case. So just bonk him. And then meanwhile, Corinne, you can use your newly acquired Iron Lance to not get weighed down a bunch. And then, okay, you're out of range. But you are in range of this guy, and he's got a poison weapon. That's actually some bad planning on my part. Phoebe, you knock this guy out. And Argus can just bring up the rear. I'm not training him seriously, so yeah, I don't think it's super important that he not get a whole bunch of levels. Oh, this is the guy with the dagger, right? Yeah. Daggers and knives. I didn't comment on them. They are a returning weapon type from Darius the Conqueror. They essentially act as very low power brave weapons. Please dodge, thank you. Thank God RNG deigned to not force me to replay the first chapter because of a unit dying. But that sucks. But yeah, daggers. They function kind of like a sword version of the gauntlets in Three Houses. They're weak weapons that have a brave effect. They're actually really fun to use, but they have very low power, so they're really the most useful. Oh, Puck moves. That's actually kind of convenient for going forward. What's not so convenient is Corinne being dropped to 1 HP because of the poison. That's actually really not good. Okay. Okay, what do I want to do here? What do I want to do? I remember showing off Darius the Conqueror to a friend and him saying, like, the mark of a good game is when you, the designer, are getting your ass kicked by it. I'm not sure entirely how much I agree with him on that, but okay, Zayan, you need to recruit Puck. So I need to have somebody else get a couple of kills. These Cavaliers are mostly going to be using lances for right now, mostly just to give your axe characters something that a little bit of extra hit. Argus gets a level up. Is he going to try and escape the bench? He kind of is, honestly. He got everything except strength. But he got skill and speed, you know, which is good. Rast does not always get level ups that are worth a damn. Altair, I need to start leveling you up. And I also need to get Cuchulainn. I should probably mention, this wolf sprite, battle animation, made by Velvet Kitsune, who may or may not be subscribed to me. I'm certainly subscribed to them, which is interesting because I've watched videos of them showing off their Celestarsis hack. I'm really not sure what to make of it. It's I won't speak ill. I try not to speak ill of like other ROM hacks and creators because I know that, you know, the people who are making them are not always like the most polished, but, you know, sometimes you just look at a hack and you're like, what the hell is going on? And that's definitely what I feel with watching their project. But like it's definitely creative, you know, and memorable, you know, can't say that it's not. Alright, Altair, zap this guy. Get out of here. And take your damn dagger with you. Oh, that's annoying. I don't want to have anybody in the range. Shit. Crap. Let's start by actually, moving Ku up here would not be a terrible idea, because it would bait this guy out. And he has a stealable, so Ku can immediately take advantage of that. And that will give us a cubby to put Tiresias in. I don't want this archer moving down to this stair tile, because there's a thief that's going to spawn there, and if the archer ends up blocking the stair, he won't spawn, and we'll miss out on some lovely experience. Meanwhile, Rast, kabonk. I guess one other thing I can talk about on this map is leadership stars. I mentioned these. These are kind of a feature that comes with the skill systems patch, along with a bunch of like little quality of life improvements, like the basic like the little icons that show off who can talk to who, or whether or not the enemy has a weapon that's effective against you or has a critical hit weapon. Leadership stars grant 5 hit and 3 avoid to the enemy party. Zayan and Altair both come with 1, and there's 3 other characters that will get which will have leadership stars. Bosses are generally, how much leadership they're going to have is going to vary from chapter to chapter. I will say leadership stars, I have mixed feelings about them, because they can cause shenanigans. They can cause all sorts of hit rate shenanigans to happen that otherwise that just end up complicating enemy balancing a lot of the time, and not really adding a whole lot else. But like it's funny, because when I was playtesting this hack, I was playing on normal mode and I was like, man, the enemies have like hit rates in the fucking 20s. Like this is so pathetically easy. Like, why is this not challenging at all? Why is hard mode the only mode that I'm having any like real challenge from? It was because the 2 lords by default are set to have 2 leadership stars, and Cuchulainn, who is in the place of Seth, has an extra leadership star on top of that. So I had 5 leadership stars. That's a little bit ridiculous. So needless to say, I changed it so that we just have 2 for right now. Okay, this guy's got a crossbow, so Phoebe will potentially take heavy damage if she attacks him. If Corinne had any health, I would have her toss a javelin at this guy. but I need to spend a turn healing her, otherwise she's going to die. We do also have these reinforcements to worry about up here. These guys have hammers, which means that they are potentially dangerous to Victor. I don't think we have much of a choice but to kill this guy with Rachel. I will say that as convenient as the whole speed up feature is, I do sometimes worry that it's going to cause the game to crash. Not sure why it would necessarily, but I mean, it is kind of a worry. You know, when you have things moving so fast that, you know, there's a potential game overflow that causes an error. You know, never can be sure. I want Zayan to get a kill here. So the only way to do that is to have Phoebe weaken this guy with a javelin. Oh, she gets to C-rank lances. That's actually really going to be helpful for the next chapter because of a certain weapon we're going to get. Okay, everyone's out of the... You know what? I'm just going to knock this archer out just so that we don't have to think about him. From that, we'll get an extra chest key that we can use to get these items up here. And then Zayan can get this kill. Oh, just exactly. But first, let's get our next team member. You there, young boy.
Dude, Puck has been seen!
At ease, young man. We mean you no harm.
Young man? You are mistaken. There is no young man standing in our shoes. Only a Puck.
Puck, is that your name?
A Puck is a fairy, or perhaps a hobgoblin. We have no true name. But Puck is what everyone calls us, so it could be said to be our name.
And you say you aren't a boy. Are you a girl, then?
Boy, girl, man, woman. Puck is both of these things, and Puck is neither of these things. Puck is simply a Puck, whatever that may be.
I am afraid I don't quite follow. I do. Back at my old village we had people like this one. Us Keltar called them changelings. Sometimes they are born male, but become women. Sometimes it's the inverse. And some, like this one, choose to be men or women based on their whims. I can't say I fully understand the idea, but I'm certain it will make sense to me after you explain it some more.
Oh, Dark One is a Keltar, one of the Fey folk.
I am, and a full blood at that.
Oh, then Puck has a friend at last. More of a friend than smelly old bears, at least.
You don't like being a part of this clan, then?
Smelly old bears are nasty and mean. Call Puck names. Favorite insult is to compare Puck to a bundle of sticks used for kindling. If you know what that means, you know.
That is awful. But you won't need to endure their abuse much longer. We mean to bring the Black Bear clan down for good. Help us and we'll make sure to find you a better home.
Lightsworn need not ask Puck more than once. Our dagger will go swick, fwick, right quick, and cut smelly old bears up.
That'll do quite nicely.
Oh, but Puck has other skills as well. Puck can pick locks and pockets with equal ease. Just say the word and Puck will clean out Bear's treasure room.
Alright. So after we deal with this guy real quick, get a level up, please get some speed. Okay, we got speed. Not a whole lot else, but he did get speed. You know, that is useful. Alright. Puck! Puck, an androgynous thief. They speak in an interesting fashion. Thief, fleet-footed rogues who prefer to pick locks rather than fights. As you can tell from that little character interaction, Puck is canonically non-binary, born male, and is considered a male in the game's coding, because you can set that feature. But yeah, you know, it's no secret that I am of progressive politics, you know, and I like to include, you know, characters who are of different ethnicities, sexual orientations, and genders, purely just because those people exist, and I don't feel like a world that is complete unless it, you know, mentions them in some capacity. At least to some extent. Puck comes with a dagger and a knife. These both are dagger weapons. They're considered swords, so they get weapon triangle advantage from going up against axes. They strike twice. The knife is a throwing weapon, has only a might of 2, but, you know, it is still useful. It's still a brave weapon, so it can be useful against low defense units, and there are a couple of mages. Also have a chest key and door key. These were meant to be to encourage Puck's AI to go after the treasure rooms so that we could stop them from stealing all the treasure and have something that's resembling like an anti-turtle. Come with a D rank and swords. The thing is that the keys are not super important because thieves all come with the lock touch skill, so they don't need any item to open doors or chests, which I mean, whatever. Class skill is Steal. Puck's personal skill is Despoil. Obtain a red gem after attacking and defeating an enemy. Luck % activation. They start with 12 luck, so, you know, they have a reasonable chance of doing so. Base stats: Growths, 40% strength, which is higher than Phoebe's for some reason. 30% magic, 50 skill, 70 speed, so that they can be stealing items constantly. 55 luck, 20 defense, and 40 resistance, and 50 HP. Puck is pretty obviously early game thief.exe, very frail, made of paper, but they have the utility of stealing shit, and that is their main thing. I have put Zayan in range of the Cavalier by accident. I did not mean to do that, but it's probably not going to matter that much, because if they come this way, then Puck can take their stuff. That middle Cavalier also has a Rider's Bane, so be careful around with Corinne and Victor around him. This Cavalier is dead. Cuchulainn, if you'd be so kind. You were so kind. And you get a door key for your kindness. These hunters are armed with venom bows, so like if the brigands didn't do a whole bunch of damage, the wall would get poisoned from their attacks, which I think is kind of funny. Okay, he's going after Cuchulainn because Ku cannot counter. I will not complain, though. Alright, so we have 2 thieves down here. They're really not going to be much of an issue. They don't go after the chests so much as they try to steal from your inventory, which is actually a little annoying, but honestly not that big a deal. Rachel has a conversation with Argus. That's nice, I guess. I don't know how important that's going to be. Alright, Rast, you're out of danger of most counterattacks, but you can't double for beans. Altair unlocked his support with Cuchulainn. That's nice. Oh, Gray's inventory is full, so he can't steal shit. Easily enough remedied, I guess. But damn it. Rast, you take the door key. And I guess it's a good thing that you can't kill this guy. Ku, you have high enough of void that you could probably get away with not worrying too much about being in the line of fire of this brigand right here. And then the rest of this is just going to be mostly actually this guy might be a bit of a problem, but I don't know if I have the capacity to deal with him. When in doubt, make use of supports. There's no actual support conversation, but I mean, hey, we get the benefits anyway. Oh, Altair with the random crit. I did change the crit values of the light magic tomes a little bit, but that's not going to be super important right away, so, because obviously we're stuck with the low-level light tomes for right now. Crap. I've put myself in an interesting situation here, with the way I've done things. Fuck it, we ball. I may have to restart this turn, which would mean restarting the entire map over again because I didn't save state. It's not really a big deal. Rachel just one-shots this guy. Holy shit. We don't actually want that. Strength, magic, skill, and luck. That's a pretty nice level up, actually. Who do we want to get this kill? I think Corinne... Corinne could probably get a kill against either of these guys. These thieves do give a little bit more experience than most other classes do, so I'm actually going to give Puck this kill. Oh, nice crit. That was completely pointless. Puck does get a little bit extra experience from kills because they are a thief. And then just, we have Zayan. Zayan, move into place. Phoebe can start heading for the chests. Corinne can take another shot of Vulnerary because they are going to need it. She's going to need it. Argus, I'm gonna hold off on trying to give you supports. Alright, and now we hope that everything plays out. 26 hit rate, that's just fine. Although, I've gotten hit by 26 hit rates, mid-20s hit rates before, so, that's not fun. And this guy does no damage to Cuchulainn. That's kind of pathetic, actually. But Ku gets a nice level up from the extra experience from the thief. HP and magic. Wow, that was bad. But Cuchulainn does learn his first skill. The wolf is one of the few classes to earn multiple different skills. In Cuchulainn's case, he learns Pass at level 5. Okay, thank God that Hunter was not in range to attack Altair. That would have been really bad. Yeah, Cuchulainn, he learns Pass at level 5, he learns, I believe it's Certain Blow at level 10, and Grisly Wound at level 15. I should also mention that, the Wolf is actually a bit of a unique class. It actually maxes out at level 30 as opposed to level 20, like most Fire Emblems do. But yeah, Pass lets him move through enemy units, which is actually a little bit of a boon that Cuchulainn has over Puck. Puck's main thing is they start with 6 move, and they have the ability to, make you money. They have the ability to open doors and chests without using keys, which Cuchulainn can't do. But Ku has 7 movement, and he can also steal things, and he has inherent cavalry killing utility. So it is actually a little bit of an interesting choice between which of the two to use. I'm actually not sure who will be the ultimate steal bot, so to speak, of this playthrough. But that's not going to be a major concern of ours for a little bit. Altair, you need levels. Bad. You also need healing. Something Genji Overwatch. For those people who still care about Overwatch for some reason. Kind of unfortunate. I've had this discussion with Lewis many times. I mean, like, Okay, Rast is really not shaping up in the levels. There's more reason to use him over Argus, but Argus had a much better level up starting out, so that may spell trouble for us in the future. Altair, just smite this guy with a pointless crit that does 81 damage. The random damage values that you see on the screen is one of the things. It again came with the skill systems patch. Altair, you're in range of this mage. It's one of those things where, like, I've heard some people say that, like, it's distracting and really pointless. I don't know. I don't mind it necessarily. You can kill this guy outright. Why do these guys have such gigantic avoid rates? They're not... Huh, that's really interesting. Just hit this guy. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, then, I'll be honest, that was funny more than anything, but, it's also... I guess it's not that bad. Rast is out of danger. So I might as well just move everyone else out of his attack radius. Now for the situation over here. Okay. Shit. I guess Corinne needs a level, so... What are your weapon ranks looking like? I guess it is a little bit more important to level up lances right out the gate. Strengths and speed, that's nice. That is a good-ass level up. And then... 2... This guy will have range once this brigand is dead. Well, for starters, let's have Phoebe get this chest. Holy Lance! Yet again, another weapon that... Well, technically this is a weapon that has always existed in Sacred Stone, it's just impossible to get through hacking. Lethal to monsters. Yeah. In case that wasn't obvious, there's gonna be monsters coming up. I think also you may have noticed that we got a torch from one of the cavalry units. Make of that what you will. There's also an illuminate staff in one of the chests, so you can guess what might be coming up next map. And I'm sure some of you are not happy about it, but I will say I playtested that map several times, and it's probably not as bad as you think. I mean, hell, this map has been proving to be actually not too bad either. I will say that, admittedly, I've gotten lucky with a lot of RNG stuff, but I was expecting to have like a couple moments where I would lose a unit with the way some things have played out, and I just didn't. Alright. This guy has weapon triangle advantage against us, which, you know, sucks, but not too bad. Speed up the... That smite animation, like, it goes on just a little bit too long. Like, I mean, I usually like a lot of Beansy's graphic work. He did most of the item icons that I used. And there's the knife doing 3 hits to get Puck a kill and a level up. Level 5. Pfft, resistance. It's going to be one of those Let's Plays, is it? Joy. Man, this guy has a ridiculous hit and avoid rate. I don't get it. Like, What is going on with these hit rates? Why is Cuchulainn stuck at 61% hit? That's really weird. I feel like there's something going on there that isn't necessarily supposed to be going on. Just hit this guy once, please. Okay, that's 1. And that's 2. Buckle my shoe, but I did not actually want that to happen. Tiresias has Mage Slayer, which will give him a little extra crit, but that's not super important. I wanted Ty to get a kill on this guy, but it does not. Unless... Brambletone does just enough. It's a shame that we have to... It's a shame that we have to waste a use of it when it only has 10 uses, but... I mean, hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Part of the reason that the effectiveness tomes don't have much... Part of the reason this tome doesn't have much in the way of durability is because it was one of those things where it was like, enemies naturally have... Most physical-based enemies naturally have low resistance, so... I'm getting interrupted by Mary getting a level up. HP, magic, and resistance. That's alright. As I was saying, most physical enemies are going to have low resistance, so these tomes are going to be very strong against them and do a lot of damage, so I intentionally had them have pretty low durability just so that they wouldn't detract from something like the Rider's Bane, although the Rider's Bane is... we haven't used it yet because Cuchulainn naturally comes with a Rider's Bane, even if it's not as powerful. But who knows, that may change in the future. Victor, you have a chest key, so you can go over here and deal with that. There's no more enemies spawning in at this point. I did consider putting in some, like, anti-turtle cavaliers coming in from this part of the map, potentially on a later turn. I am erring on the side... Like, generally I'm going to err on the side of as few reinforcements as possible with a lot of these levels, because because the thing is that the line between reinforcements that actually add something to a map and reinforcements that just annoy the player and pad the map out and make it take longer than it needs to is very fine, and like where that line actually is gonna be different from a few people. So I don't know. If you think that the anti-turtle reinforcements would be a good idea because the map is kind of easy otherwise, you know, let me know. I don't necessarily think it would hurt the map, but I just want to, you know, get some people's opinions on like whether or not it would add something to the map. In the meantime, Ku, you have the movement to go get some chests. So that's what we're going to have you do. Mary heals everybody up. And then Puck. So Puck's going to do something here. Like I said, Mustaine is a little bit insulated against magic damage. As you can see, Altair's base light tome. His smite is only dealing 7 HP of damage. Victor, you get this chest. Get the Illuminate Staff. Fog of War. It's not too terribly far away in the future. But yeah, Mustaine's insulated against magic attacks, so you can steal this resist ring off of him. Oh god. Key cap. I'm gonna mention it every fucking time, and that counter's gonna go up. I'm eventually gonna lose track of how many times I complain about it, but it's gonna be the it's gonna be the running joke of this Let's Play, and I am not really happy about that. This laptop is still really good. Like, I've only had it for like a couple years, I think, but you know, it's still a pretty functional thing. So it's kind of annoying that it's giving me these issues, but what can you do, really? Also, who's going to get this kill, actually, on the boss. Zayan and Altair look like the ones who need it the most. But it's actually going to be a little tricky to give it to them. I'm leaning on Zayan getting the kill, because Altair is going to be very useful in the next map, for reasons that may or may not be obvious, based on if you can read into the subtext of us getting a holy weapon in this chapter. Get a red gem from this chest, and then this chest, I believe, has a light brand. That light brand, Locke can use that, and I think only Locke, actually. Alright, Mary, you heal Puck up. And now it's time to deal with the boss. Puck, you go and steal his ring, so that he has less resistance to deal with. Then Victor, you can deal a big bit of damage.
You ain't got much in the way of brains coming here. We black bears don't fear knights, let alone sellswords. If you've got a death wish, then I'll gladly grant you it.
By missing. It is always funny when bosses try to talk shit and then fail miserably to actually do anything to you. Okay, Locke, you probably have the best chance of dealing a reasonable level of damage to this guy, while also being safe from reprisal, as demonstrated. And then, Zayan, you're the one that I want to get this kill. 68 hit, that's not awful, I guess. I mean, if he misses, I can probably just have him, I could probably just rescue chain him out of the way. Crit animation? Yes. Crit animation means victory.
What? How? This ain't right. How in the hell are you so strong?
Goodbye. Mustaine, actually, I already referenced what his name is. That was a pretty good level up for Zayan, although no speed. That's annoying. Right, so we've done more or less everything to do on this map, so the rest of this chapter is basically just going to be clean up with Mary. I can... I could cut this out, but it's not actually going to take that long, because of speed up feature. So, just have Mary heal characters until she gets to level 5. Level 5. HP, magic, skill. Oh wow, everything but defense again. Damn, Mary's getting real stacked. Like, look at those stats so far. Damn. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We could have her get a little bit... Key! Cap! Fuck! I promise, like, I'm not trying to artificially extend that counter on purpose. Like, the key really is just popping out of its socket, and it's driving me absolutely ballistic. Okay. That's everything we can do here. So... our only real thing now is to seize. Now, you can seize with either Altair or Zayan, just for convenience's sake. I'm actually curious to see, like, what a LTC of this would be in, like, the meta of how to make it work. I'm a big fan of Toffee, who does 100% growths LTCs of Fire Emblem games, and he's done quite a few of ROM hacks. I'd love to see him do one of mine someday, especially this one, because it has, because there's a lot of, like, different movement, there's a lot of different movement tech that you can have with the inherent class movement skills. Get this support between Zayan and Altair, and I guess we can just seize and move on. End of chapter. Well, I'll be damned. We came out the other side in one piece, and with the head of their leader to boot. The few remaining bears surrendered their weapons once their leader died. What are we to do with them, Altair? Clap them in irons and march them back to Lake Town. I will leave it to the Eldermen to mete out their judgment. Most likely they'll hang for their crimes. Aye, not the outcome I would prefer, but I suppose it cannot be helped. At the very least, their blood will not be on my hands. Altair... I am fine, Zayan. Do not worry for my sake. More importantly, there's a swath of stolen treasure in the hold of this fortress. We should take as much of it as we can back to Lake Town, and then tell her people where the rest lies. He's a strange one, that friend of yours. Can't say I've met many men who would consider the death of hardened criminals to be a shame. Altair's a pious man, more so than most. He's spent almost all his life following the teachings of the Lord of Light. The Lord's commandments are law to him. He follows those decrees as closely as he can every day. And sometimes his ideals conflict with what the smart thing to do is. I see. And what of you? Are you as pious as he is? Me? No, not really. I was born and raised to a family that prayed to the Earth Mother, the goddess of the Keltar. Sometimes I'll pray to the Lord of Light, especially when I'm with Altair and Mary. But I spend more time offering blessings to the Mother than the Lightbringer. Really? And your friend takes no umbrage with that? Not at all, nor did his mentor, Father Torin. They encouraged my worship of the Mother, if anything. So long as I still pray to the Lord of Light when they ask me, they accept my personal beliefs. Now that is something incredible. Most Lightsworn I've met would be appalled at the thought of anyone worshipping a god other than theirs. You're lucky to have such an accepting friend. Any other faithful would call you a heretic, and probably kill you. From what Altair has told me, Father Torin is a somewhat controversial abbot to the rest of the faith. Why, I couldn't tell you. I've never met a man half so kind and generous as the abbot. In my experience, it's the kindest men who are branded the most dangerous by the rest of the world. It's that kindness that makes them a threat to those who stand to gain the most from an unkind world. But that's a discussion for another time. Let us finish up here so that we can make our way back to Lake Town sooner. Aye.
Oh, Mr. Lightsworn.
Yes? What is it, Puck?
Has the traveling holy man a place in his party for Puck? We have nowhere else to go, and we like you and your friends.
Oh, do you mean to say you wish to repent from a life of crime?
Not quite. Puck is better at stealing than we are at fighting. But Puck would happily use our thieving talents to help Mr. Lightsworn get rich if he wants.
I am not certain I'd be comfortable with such ill-gotten gains. They've proven they can pick locks quite handily. That would be a valuable skill to us in the future. And I've heard that thieves can see well through fog and darkness.
'Tis true, Puck can do all these things and more.
I suppose these talents would be beneficial to us. Very well, I shall gladly accept you as one of us, Puck. But only on the condition that you agree not to steal from honest men. Only pick the pockets of those whom I give you permission to take from.
Puck will give our solemn vow to follow these orders. And Puck will make certain Master Altair will be happy with his choice.
Then welcome to our little family, Puck. Nothing half so refreshing as a pint of ale after a long day's work.
It was quite generous of the innkeep to offer us a free round of drinks.
We did them a solid favor. It's natural they'd be grateful to us. Either of you two care for a mug? None for me. I prefer to abstain from alcohol. Me neither. Can't bloody stand the taste of ale. More for me then. So tell me, Altair, where will your travels take you next? Southward over the Spine and into Geth. Geth? Now there's a coincidence. That's where we merry men happen to be roaming as well.
Really? Then perhaps we could travel together for a time. If you have the coin to pay us, then perhaps we could.
Now, Corinne. You've heard the tales about how dangerous the Spine is these days. The larger our party, the better our odds of making it through safely.
True, there have been all sorts of sordid tales about the mountains. Even one of the rumors of evil beasts is true.
Evil beasts, you say? Superstitions and idle gossip, to be clear. But whatever it is, something has made traveling across the Spine far more dangerous as of late. I'd rather travel through the mountains with a party larger than 6 if I can help it. and therefore I wish to propose an idea. Come tomorrow, let us take what gold you have and pool it together with what's in our pockets. We can call it a war chest of sorts for our combined forces.
And once we've arrived in Geth?
We'll cross that bridge once we arrive at it. Perhaps our roads will converge, or perhaps they'll separate. Either way, we're with you all the way across the dragon's spine.
That offer sounds perfectly reasonable. What say you, Zayan?
I have no objections. Then we're all in agreement. Best rest up, lads. We have a long journey ahead of us soon enough. And we get 2,000 gold.
Evil beasts, they said. Altair, you don't suppose... I know not what to make of their words, Zayan. Perhaps it is best if we put it out of sight and mind, for the time being.
And that is chapter 3. Oh, this episode took a grand total of... Wow, it's still an hour. Damn. I mean, I'm going to be cutting out the preparations, but that's still a long time. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to add, so I guess see you tomorrow for Chapter 4, which will be the final chapter of this update. And it's going to be a fog map that's filled with monsters. Spoiler alert. So look forward to that. Kind of hate to end this update on a fog chapter, but it's the way things played out, so what can you do? Anyways, my name has been Zayn, also known as the King Bahamut or just Bahamut. And yeah, stay safe, have fun, and I will see you next time.